Hey everyone, Dave Gandarillas here. Wanted to shoot a little video today. I'm not going to make it very long, but I did want to follow up on another video that I had a couple days ago. Before we get started, as always, I am on Facebook. If you're interested in connecting with me, I have some spaces left for friends, so certainly connect with me there. In the video description, you'll see a list of different ways where you can contact me. Let me show you real quick my YouTube, and you can see what I mean. So if you go to one of my videos and you look, let me just pause that so you don't have to hear the noise of me talking over me talking. Alright, so actually this is going to be the follow-up that I'm going to talk about today. It's going to be based on this pattern that we saw happening and what ended up happening. But before we get into that, I just want to show you, like in the video description, there's going to be a lot more information, some more details about the video, ways that the different opportunities and the links to get started with them, and also ways you can connect with me. I'm on Crypto World Network. It's a Facebook style social media platform specifically for cryptocurrencies. Of course, it's Facebook. I'm on Twitter. FutureNet is one of the opportunities that I talk about. It's a free social media platform. You can use it like Facebook, and it's also an income earning opportunity. It has 3 different ways you can earn, either FutureNet, FutureAd Pro, or Futuro Coin. You could generate some mining of the coin, and it's currently on a couple exchanges, so you can actually sell and trade it as well. And then, of course, is my blog and then my YouTube channel. So if you're interested in getting directly to my my portfolio, right here is the link that you'll see in the video description. You can get there by clicking on that. As well as if you're on Facebook with me, or you're a friend of mine, or you're looking on my page, you can just click on my banner here and then click on the link in the video in the banner's picture description and it'll take you right to my residual income page. Now this page costs me $10 a month, and it allows me to put everything in one place for people to come and check it out. You just have to send them one link as opposed to 15 different links, and if you place it in your videos, they can click on it and then they come here and they can look at all the different opportunities. You put a little blurb on what it's about or what you want to talk about, and then if you have a video, you can put your video in here and they could watch the video right here on your website as opposed to trying to find information on different websites. So it's a nice way for you to kind of portray your business opportunities that you have in your portfolio and allow people to decide which one is best for them. Now, of course, if you're brand new and you don't know what to do, certainly reach out to me and tell me what your interests are or what you're looking to do, and I could point you in the right direction. But certainly you have to find something that you're going to be interested in. You got to find something you're going to be passionate about, and you got to believe in it. If you don't have those 3 things, and you got to feel good about it. Like if you think it's a scam, or if you have this skeptical mindset, it's probably not for you. So don't waste your time. Don't waste, your money. Just work on your mental, capacity of thinking outside the box. And of course, there's always scams out there, but not everything is a scam. Most people, when they fail at something, they call it a scam, and it's not really the fact that it's a scam. It's just that you haven't given enough time to build your skill set. So before you rush into, spending money and doing things, work on some self-development. Work on changing your mindset from an employee mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset. Those things are free. They're going to take time, and you have to exercise your mind to keep yourself out of that mentality, and you got to keep practicing it. It's not something that's just going to happen. So you got to work at it. You got to force yourself to learn something new. You got to force yourself to get out of your old habits. You got to do all those kind of things in order to get you in the right mindset to be an entrepreneur, realizing that whatever you develop is going to be due to your effort, right? You're going to have to work very hard to build your organization, to build your teams, to assist your teams if they want to be assisted. Again, I always say this, you don't want to drag people down the street with you. You want people that are going to come to you that are ready to either be guided, be led right in the right direction, and have the self-development and self goals and aspirations to learn something new and to teach themselves what they got to learn and then practice it. Unless you practice it, you're not going to get good at it. So you're going to stumble, you're going to make mistakes. That's part of the learning process. No one's perfect. Don't ever think that there's a perfect person out there and only someone else can do it and you can't. You know, that's self-doubt and that's self-esteem. You got to work on that for yourself. You got to believe that you can do it before you actually do it. And a lot of people believe in you more than you believe in yourself when you first get started, and you just got to keep working at it. Just don't give up. Go through the process and continue doing it. It's going to be worth it if you get there. And that's why the people that actually make it to those levels are the ones that are earning that kind of money, because the 97 percentile don't want to put in the work. They don't want to do the hard work. They don't want to be consistent. They don't want to be persistent. They'd rather go out and party instead of staying home on a Friday night to build a landing page or sending emails to your email list, whatever it may be. You got to make priorities, and you got to decide to not worry about the immediate gratifications and put it off a little bit. And if you do that within the cryptocurrency space for the next couple years, you're going to set yourself up for a long-term, good life, because there's a lot of money to be made in cryptocurrencies. And getting into the discussion for tonight, right now we're in another great buying opportunity. A lot of people are selling now. If your mindset is, oh my God, the market's crashing and it's going to fail, that's exactly the problem that you have. That right now should be the point where you're taking advantage of this flash sale of cryptos that are on sale, because there's no underlying problem with the cryptos themselves. It's all this FUD that's being thrown around, the exchange being hacked. Supposedly certain exchanges are being investigated for price manipulation. Warren Buffett and someone else came out and talking bad about Bitcoin again. This is all negative things in the media that are influencing the prices of the crypto, and it could be manipulation. All this FUD that's coming out is very ironic that it's right here, where it all happened. It just seemed like within a couple days, all these bad things always come out together to drive the price lower. And what's the smart money doing? They're buying. Look at the last time it was at these levels. It went up from what? It was at 6,000. It went up to almost 10,000. It went up almost 75%. So we're not totally in a bear market yet. We still have a chance to maintain the bull run. As you can see, I adjusted the pitchfork to the new low. So far, it's maintaining it. But more importantly, what you got, I'm going to get rid of this. And I guess I'll get rid of this. Let me just turn off a couple things to just clean it up a little bit, make it easier to see what I want to talk about today. Now let's just get all this off of there. Let me get rid of this. All right, so this is where we are today. So what you got to consider is the pivots, right? The main pivots. So this was this is a high to a low. So if you do the Fibonacci retracement from a high to a low, you can see that it went down, boom, and then it retraced almost exactly the 65, right? It went a little bit past it, it breached it a little bit, but look at that. I mean, so if you would have taken this pivot, like what's happening possibly right here, and if you would have bought here, if you would have done the high to the low, you would have a target of knowing that there's a chance that it might reverse at this level. And of course, you got to take into account the other resistance levels and other things that are going on here. So thinking forward, and I'm not telling you this is what you should do. This is just my opinion, my way of analyzing the charts. And I don't want to sound like a cop-out, but I just want to make sure you guys realize I'm not an advisor, and I'm not trying to tell you to, what to invest in and all that kind of stuff. I'm just giving you my opinion, what I'm seeing, and you guys got to really seriously get into the situation of you doing your own research and either collaborating what I'm saying, look at like 2 or 3 other people's technical analysis, see what they're saying, and then do what's right for you. You have to always feel good about what you do. Just don't go blindly into something. When you get used to doing technical analysis, you could feel better about your choices knowing that you made the highest probability choices based on the technical analysis that you did. The markets are not always going to do what you think they're going to do, but you're going to minimize the chances of your risk and maximize the profits that you can possibly get. And that's what you always want to do in trading. So if you do a high and then just assume that this was the low. Now, if you were going to be a buyer now, what you would be targeting is getting in somewhere here and then taking a look at, sometimes it could switch at the 50% mark, and more than likely it'll switch up here. So if you get in at, for example, let's do a trade. So you get in, say you get in right here, right? Now you wouldn't want to you'd want to set your stop loss, somewhere. Let me get out of here. I'm having some technical difficulties here. Okay, yeah, stop loss is all the way down here. So you want to move this up. You probably want to tuck in between, a little bit below this resistance level, like right around here. You don't want it to break past here. So somewhere around here. And depending on how you are, I mean, if you're aggressive or conservative, you might want to get rid of a little bit here, at the 50 percentile. Maybe sell half your position here. And that would be like a 3-to-1 ratio. So, you would get a 21% return on this trade. And then, if you want to keep the other half of your trade and just maybe set the next target up here, you would make 30% on the rest of your trade. So you should always consider cashing out when you're in profit. And also, once you're up here and things are going well, you should normally put your stop loss at your entry so that no matter what, if you cash out on the 50 and then all of a sudden it turns on you, you would have locked in some gains at your 50% retracement, and then you guarantee that you're not going to lose anything because now your stop loss is equal to your entry, so you cannot lose money. So you would have locked in some gains, and then if for some reason it turned south quickly on you, then you would also get out before you would go below your entry, so you wouldn't lose any money. It would take a little, I guess your commissions or the bid and ask price, the spread, you would lose a little bit, based on your sell from your profits, but you would still be profitable. So you should always consider using Fibonacci retracements when there's a move like this from a high to low pivot on a possible retracement. Let's go back in history. Let me just kind of show you like over here. Maybe I showed this already. I don't remember. But if you take this pivot right here, high to a low, so you could have got in here, right? Could have bought it in somewhere around here. Let's just say you bought in there. And then let's, for sake of example, let's just say that you put the stop loss somewhere down here, right? And then you'd want to, well, I mean, if you were very aggressive and you wanted to keep it all in, you could go right up to the 6.5, and that would be like a 4-to-1 ratio. So you would have made 40% on your trade there, or maybe you would have gotten out here. This is a more likely scenario where you would have either taken all your profits or locked in some of your profits here, and that's still a 30% gain, right? So there's always ways to go up and there's always ways to go down. Now, you also got to be aware of these algorithm targets, right? So you have a high to low, and it came up here. Now it's driving down, and this is where people are saying that, we could see this come down, down to here. Because the negative 23.6 is an algorithm target. So, they're buying up here, they're selling short here, and they're selling it down, and they're staying in until it hits this price. The only thing we have going for us is that we don't know that this is truly going to happen because it didn't really. The next important line that you got to kind of keep aware of is this. Well, this is the first one. You know, once it breaks through here, kind of invalidate. So what we're hoping for is, if you do an Elliot wave, right? What we're hoping for is that this is a low, this is the 1, and we're still working on a 2. As long as the 2, oh, take this low here, the high, and then this is a low, and then let's just go like this just to finish it out for now. But we're focused in this area. So what you need to keep aware of is, you know, it's a deep retracement. I mean, granted, right? If you look at this from the low to the high, I mean, we're past the 7/8. I mean, if we open this up and format this and add in, I don't have it here. This is a 0.8. Let's just make it here. I think it's 0.8 something, 0.86, something like that. I mean, we've passed the 0.86. We haven't done 100%. So a 1 to a 2 is a valid Elliot wave as long as it doesn't go lower than the beginning. So as long as we stay where we are here and we don't pass this low, that's why I'm saying this is still a valid bull run. I mean, this could still be a retracement, and we could still be seeing this go higher here. 4 can't pass the 1. We could still be seeing this happen. But if it passes this point right here, and you go past 100% retracement, then this falls apart, and this is no longer a valid 1-2. So right now we're hoping that it stays here. It doesn't go any lower than the 6.4. Let's get in close to see the exact number. Now this is on Bitfinex, so you know. 6425. So 6425 is the critical number. If it hits it and it stays above it and it doesn't break through it, we still have a bull run. If not, this Elliott wave 1-2 goes away, and you got to figure out where this is headed south. And it's probably headed south down to that 5,000 number that we were talking about when I showed you the target. So, I mean, if this maintains, what could be happening is we could be setting ourselves up for, when you do this, you could do a Fibonacci extension. So if this is the 1, the beginning, this is the 1, all the way down to the 2, we could be seeing, you know, a shoot upward all the way up to 168. That's a typical retracement. And then what we have to hope for is that this 4 stays above the 1. So somewhere around there. And then you can figure out the timing a little bit better if you start using a pitchfork. If you do a pitchfork from high to low. Pitchfork from high to low. And the previous low. And you can start seeing where this might be possible. I mean, this probably is not going to be a straight shot up like I have it here. What more likely is probably going to happen, this is probably going to be drawn out. This is probably going to be drawn out. And this is probably going to be drawn out. So, you know, for all you know, it could be something like this. But the key thing is to make sure that 4, when you see 4, so this could be a possibility right here. So if it stays in this channel, this is a pitchfork is just another form of channel, but these are Fibonacci retracement lines. So this is, you know, 25%, 100%, you know, different percentages, but in a pitchfork form. So what you can see is, you know, you can kind of maybe, if this holds and you start going up, there's an 80% chance that it's going to hit the median line. You just don't know when it's going to happen. Now the good news is if it's tracking upward and time is going on, the median, if you notice, the median line price is going higher and higher. So just because it's taking longer doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because actually chances are it's probably going to be somewhere over here. right? Because this is another algorithm target. So it could hit there, and then, you know, depending on how this works out, I mean, maybe it doesn't go. Maybe it doesn't go, and it just bounces off this fib. And then, you know, maybe here, maybe this becomes something like that. You know, you can't really tell in terms of time. You got to worry about more about the levels, the price points, and the Fibonacci levels. So as long as this holds and it doesn't break through this final resistance, this is the final, like the last stand. As long as we stay above that, we still have a shot of a turnaround. Now, it's probably not going to happen fast because of all the negative FUD. But I mean, if good news comes out about an EFT, or, you know, a couple good things come out about it, I mean, it could turn. I mean, they basically, so days like today, if you have some risk money, you should consider buying yourself a position. Now, you shouldn't go all in, because really what we want to see is that this is going to be held. I mean, the key thing here is you gotta focus on, okay, so here we are. This is where we are right now, right? Let me get rid of this to clean this up again. This is where we are now. We're hoping that it's gonna go back up, right? Where are we gonna most likely find some problems? Now, of course, we've been fighting the 78 like crazy, so certainly somewhere around here we're going to see some problems, right? Because we've been fighting this for a while. This right here, it was a strong, you know, ceiling. Once we came off here, we just couldn't get past it. And you saw here, this was a nice floor, you know, bounced off here, and then it broke through. And now it tried to come up, it checked it, and now it's going down. Now we're hoping that, you know, a lot of times when it does that check, this was a signal to short it, because it checked, it bounced off of it. So, you know, it could be really saying that we could be going lower, or as long as we stay above this line, like I said, as long as we stay above this final, I guess it's a floor. You know, this is the floor, and it's a resistance, so it's gonna hopefully maintain us. And there's a lot of good stuff here happening here. See all this action and all this action. I mean, there's a lot of points where it's showing that this is a pretty good floor for it to stay at. It bounced off of this a couple times. Just that this time it didn't, you know, the wedge, it cut through the wedge. Right? We had something like this going on, and it just broke through it. So this is also going to be this line that we were hoping is going to be a support for us to bounce off up here, is not going to be a resistance point. It's going to be hard for it to get through this. So this is yet, depending on where we are in time, you know, the price goes higher and higher. It could follow up higher, but we need to get through this trend line that's now going to become a ceiling. Up here it was a floor, right? It hit here, bounced off, hit here, bounced off, almost hit and bounced off, and then it just tanked and went right through it. So at this, I mean, I'm at the daily level. That's why we're not seeing a lot of resolution. But yeah, so this is going to be an important, 7,000 is an important number as well. So we got to break through 7,000, and then after 7,000, the next one we got to break through to kind of guide our way higher is 7,800. So once we get through at 7,800, then you're hoping that maybe it tries to bounce off of it, and now it becomes a solid floor. So it stays above that, and then, you know, again, so you got to kind of keep an eye on the levels. So the next one after that is probably somewhere around here. You know, it's not really a line; it's more of a zone. So, you know, when I'm drawing these, you know, these like right here, you know, it's more like a zone of support, right? And up here, it's more like a zone. Oop. What the heck is that? I'm having more technical difficulties. Alright, so I'm going to try and copy this. Okay. So again, when you get up here and you're hitting this, you know, again, it's going to be a zone. It's not going to just be an exact line. You know, you got to think of a resistance zone. where you're going to find some resistance. And same thing here. You know, these are all zones. So these are all on the upside. We're going to have to fight through this, and then we're going to have to fight through this. So those are the kind of thing. I mean, I'm a bull, so I'm more biased on talking about the upside. But you know, if this line right here, it's not very. Let's just widen it just to make it very obvious. It's probably not a good. Let's go with that. Let's go with red. So that line right there is the important line. You have to stay above that. If it goes below that, then we have to refigure out what's going on here. And what we're hoping is that, you know, right now, got the 1, you know, is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, a short and 5, or could this possibly be going lower? And hopefully it's not going to go lower than this resistance. This could be a possible path. So, you know, really, if you want to wait it out, you got to wait to see if it breaches this or if it bounces off of this. So basically, what you'd want to do is you want to wait, and you want to see this go like this. You want to see it come down, and then come up, come back down, touch it, and then start seeing it go up. And when you see it go up, and you see, you know, see it go up that way, there's a better feeling that it's going to maintain it and it's going to bounce off. And then what you'd want to do is you got to decide, do you want to just take the trade, get in here and get out here, get in here, get out a little bit here, and then get out a little bit more here? Or are you a longer term person and you want to just buy here and hold it and wait for it to go back to 30,000, which people are still talking about? I mean, if you do the big day a week level Fibonacci on this, I'll do that, and then we'll stop it because it's already 30 minutes. So I'm going to just show you still where we can go with this with Fibonacci Retracement and Elliot Wave. Just want to refresh your memory on that because you always got to consider the big picture, right? If you're a long-term hold, then these are the things you got to consider. So what you do to figure out what possibilities, so as long as this stays here, you're still possibly creating an Elliot wave. So to figure that out where we could be going with this, we want to do a Fibonacci extension. So if you pick one of these lows over here, you go all the way up to the high, and then you decide where this low is going to be. If we're still here, if this is the ultimate low for the one, what you do now is you put your Elliot wave on. So you go with your Elliot wave from here up to here, down to here, and then this is going to go way up here. And to figure out where those can go is where you want from 1 to 3 can't be the 3 is never the longest but never the shortest. So you want to do like kind of like a 1-to-1. So if you take the fibs from here to here and you want to go higher, typical target is 168. Well, I mean, I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to go to 1-2. So where's 100%? Actually, let's be even more conservative. Let's just do 100%. So wave 3 is equal to wave 1. And then we're going to assume that 4 will not breach 1 so that it stays valid. And then what you do is from there, from this one, you do another Fibonacci extension. So you take it from here up to here, down to here. I'm sorry, no, you don't. What you basically do is you assume that the 5 can be up to here. And that's how people are getting the 37 to, you know, above 30,000 for the year. And again, it's gonna depend on the pitchfork, right? It's gonna depend on time. We don't really know when this is really gonna happen, but did it wrong again. You know, if you take this pitchfork and you figure out, you know, keep this in line here. Did I do that right? Well, you might have to take into account some outer bound situations here. So you kind of figure out where. Let's see, from low to high, and previous high. Let's do shift. You know, and you start taking into account the pitchfork. If you're assuming it's going to stay in the channel, then you got to kind of play with this channel, right? So if you're thinking this will stay, you know, above the 1, 3 will hit the 1, something like that, and 5, you know, may be out here for the big one. I mean, two usually has, so if you go from low to high, you know, if you take a line and you draw this from here to here, and you take that line and you move it and you put it over here, wave 3 has to at least be equal to wave 1. And most of the time you assume that it's going to be longer. So that's how that would play out. And then here you would, you know, kind of decide, do you think it's going to be at the median? Do you think it's going to be at this 0.25 fib? Where do you think it's going to be? And then you got to play with this. This typically goes to 168. So, I mean, that could be the big picture roadmap. All right, so it's just stuff to think about. I'm a long-term bull, so of course I'm always looking where this could be. Right now we're still maintaining a bull scenario until we see this break through this line right here. Either you know, somewhere between actually, yeah, it's not 6,000. Has to be you have to maintain it higher than that. And it's 64.20. So this cannot break through that. If it breaks through that, we're in bad shape. We'll have to redo this and talk about it further. But I'm hoping that, you know, the FUD is gone, and, you know, the manipulation that people are trying to do with the nonsense articles and stuff, they got it out of their system, and hopefully now we'll turn into a fuller, you know, a bull run, and we'll start passing the highs. And, you know, by December, they still have targets of, you know, 30,000, 25 to 30,000, you know, over here by this time frame. Where's December? So by the end of the year, they're still talking 30,000. So that's where, you know, figure out the Elliot wave again. Like I said, go from low to high, to low. You know, by the end of the year, we could be maybe finishing wave 3 and going higher. All right, guys. Just real quick, you know, consider checking this out. This is really cool. I got over 3,000 coins already from mining. They're at fractions of a penny, basically at 0.003, so like a third of a penny. The coins are valued right now, and you know, the use case and the service, the product and service that this coin is providing people. You'll see once you start watching the videos and you really get it, how much of a upside potential this has. It's, you know, the world needs medical, you know, people can't afford medical bills, all the stuff, you know, that we worry about as we get older, Medicare not being around, Social Security, all these things are going to be gone And if you take advantage of this in the next couple of years, this could set you up for a nice savings account to take care of your health, or it can create the wealth. So this is a wealth and health opportunity where it's focused on making you healthy and also making you wealthy, because a good life is tied to both things, right? Less stress, health, although more money can give you more stress. I mean, but you know what I mean. You have more money to do things you like, you're going to be happier, you're going to be able to spend time with your kids, you're going to be able to go on travel, you're going to be able to do what you like, as opposed to working a 9 to 5 that you don't like. This may allow you an option to get out of that and to do what you really like. So with that said, it's 35 minutes. I don't want to go any longer. I hope you took some value away from some of the discussions I had on the Bitcoin trading and possible trades that could be coming up, and important things to watch if you're looking for entries. You certainly don't want to get all in now, because it's still possibilities that it'll break through this important resistance line. So we want to make sure that we see it come off of that. Once it comes off of that, actually what I'm going to show you here, if you buy the trading coin trading view, the subscription, you can add an alert. So now I can do crossing down, I guess once per minute, and I create it. So now I'm going to get an alert on my phone if Bitcoin breaks out down here. Now another level that I might want to create for myself is 78. I could just format that, set that to 7800. Set this, I think it was 6425 was the real number. So those are two important levels that now I don't have to sit in front of the computer and watch this. I'll get alerted on my phone that Bitcoin broke through it, or Bitcoin broke through it on the upside or downside, and it might trigger myself to make a decision on, getting in. So really, I wouldn't get in until I see this bounce, and realistically, to confirm an upside, I probably wouldn't get in until it comes past this. I mean, it's, you really want to set yourself up for the next run. You don't really want to worry about getting in now with the high risk of it still coming down lower. So you want to make sure it confirms an upside change in trend. And really, that's not going to happen until it breaks the 78, because it's found a lot of trouble breaking the 78. You saw how it just hovered around here. So if it kind of breaks through there and checks it and continues higher, then I can get in at 78, and then I could still ride it up to 98. So that's that $2,000 trade if you buy a full Bitcoin. So that's still a substantial amount of money. And what you would do, just to leave it at that, if you decide to do something like that, you would do something like this. You would get in somewhere around here. Then you would set your stop here, right? And you would look to maybe go to 10,000, maybe 8,000. I mean, the risk to reward, you need to at least have a 3 to 1. So, I mean, you'd have to tighten up your stop loss in order to get the ratio. From here to here, if you did something like this, you'd still get 30% on your trade. So guys, have a good night. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. I'll make another short video, and look forward to having you subscribe to my channel and follow me.